I have this theory that if you spend more time consuming rather than doing on a consistent basis, you're always going to feel stuck and unfilled. Because if you think of one person that you look up to, you most likely remember them because of what they've done rather than what they've consumed. I should have known this, but recently I had a realization. And it's not what I expected. For some strange reason, I somehow started believing that learning how to do something was the same as actually doing it. February 12th, I uploaded this video titled How I Finished a University Course in 1 Week, and it did not perform well. Frustrated, I decided that my issue was I didn't know enough about the platform. I spent the next 4 months researching, thousands of dollars on courses, consumed hundreds of hours of content. It felt productive, it felt like progress, and when I posted again, my views were 3 times lower than when I began learning. It's like I tricked myself into believing that just by learning how to grow on YouTube, I had already done it for myself. And this is the perfect example for my relationship with knowledge. 10,000 years ago, if you were a hunter-gatherer, you learned how to hunt and you hunted. The action you took was directly in line with the knowledge that you had. Now fast forward 10,000 years to when I studied in university. You no longer learned one subject. Instead, you studied about math, statistics, economics, but also linguistics, film, and poetry. And we don't talk about how well I did in poetry. Then on November 30th, 2022, the second era of the internet was born. And suddenly, the amount of information one person can access exploded beyond anything we'd ever seen. You didn't even need to know what you were searching for. You could just vaguely type in an idea and the AI would spit out exactly what you needed. But the truth is, long before November 30th, we'd all already been handed this sleek glass sandwich that was optimized for every single little swipe to give us just a little bit more knowledge.
And we are calling it addiction.
An old English philosopher once said that knowledge is power. But they're wrong. Knowledge isn't power. Only knowledge that is applied will help us achieve our dreams. Deep down, we know that this is true. We know that hoarding knowledge without ever using it is just a sophisticated form of procrastination. And surely that is going to make me subconsciously feel that I'm not reaching my full potential. By endlessly consuming knowledge rather than applying it, I'm avoiding confronting the fact that I'm probably still terrible at the thing I'm trying to achieve. But here is the crazy part. By using that knowledge to produce something, to move myself towards my goal, that is the only way us as humans are able to feel fulfilled. But there is no fulfillment or growth in just having knowledge alone. The day I realized I fell into this trap, I sat myself down and asked myself, what would it actually take to be consistently producing? And how do I make creating a habit without overthinking it? Because I tried motivation, I tried willpower, I tried productivity hacks, but you can't hack yourself into believing that you love to do something when you really don't. Eventually, you have to find a process that you fall in love with. So I stripped away all the unnecessary complexities, stopped aiming for perfection, and most importantly, stopped waiting for the right moment. And when I really looked at what kept me moving, the first thing was setting actual deadlines. Real dates to aim for on my calendar. Not when it feels ready, because honestly, it never feels ready. There will always be that one extra thing you could fix that realistically speaking, no one but you will ever notice. But here's the problem with deadlines. Motivation doesn't follow a timeline. Some days I feel super motivated, other days I can't even get started. Everything changed when I stopped pretending that I couldn't think of anything and started working with the chaos that was already in my head. The truth is, when you've been working on a craft for any length of time, you never really don't know what to do. What's really happening is that doubt is dictating your actions. So I started spilling everything onto paper, the half-baked thoughts, the terrible ideas. Once I could see the mess that I was actually working with, I could begin shaping it into something meaningful. The magic isn't in having the perfect idea. It is getting comfortable with shaping imperfect ones into something worthwhile. But somewhere along your journey, you've probably planned something, started it, made progress on it, and then never finished it. Because somewhere along the way, you hit that moment of resistance. The fear of not being good enough, the fear that you're wasting your time, the fear that this effort might not even matter. Even for this video, it took a few extra days because I was unsure about the opening and I kept going back and forth and re-editing it. And that fear that you're wasting your time makes total sense. Not everything you produce is going to be good. And that's the point. The goal isn't perfection. It's just to slowly improve your quality and learn valuable skills along the way. Most people let their projects die, not because of the lack of time. They die because they never commit to finishing. Successful creators understand that finishing and sharing something imperfect will always beat never sharing anything at all. That's why when times get tough, you need a workflow that keeps you moving. For me, it's simple. When a project feels overwhelming, I focus on finishing one small piece well, then another, then another. Before I know it, I've finished the whole thing. It might not look exactly like I envisioned it, but it's done, and I'm proud of it. Every goal, no matter how big or small, can be broken down into a series of small, simple tasks. You just have to take the time to figure out what those small, easy tasks are. But just knowing this information won't help you. Go out there and finish something, even if it's hard, uncomfortable, imperfect. Because after creating over 100 videos, I can tell you, you'll always want to keep tweaking, keep learning, keep preparing, but most importantly, keep delaying. But you'll never reach your full potential until you start doing. And when questions inevitably come up along the way, come back and learn what you need, but always with something to apply it to.